Hey Motion fans, welcome back to another episode of Motion Monday. This week, you guessed it, we're going to be talking about swim jigs and everything you need to know about the right gear to fish those jigs effectively. For us, it starts with the rod. We really like anything between a 7-foot and a 7.4 medium heavy rod with a fast tip. The reason we like that is because most of the time we're going to be fishing a braid. We'll come back to that line in just a minute. But that 7-foot is going to allow that bait to load up really well when the fish bites it and give you enough power to get that bait out of cover like grass, bushes, laydowns, things along those lines. When it comes to the line, we're going to choose 50-pound Smackdown Seaguar braid for most of our applications. Unless we get into really clear water or fishing really deep, then we'll bump down to like a 15-pound Seaguar Invisex or 17-pound fluorocarbon Seaguar Invisex. But most of the time we're going to stick with the braid. It's going to give us that power to be able to jack those fish and get them out of the cover that we need. For the reel, you're going to want at least a 7-to-1 to an 8-to-1 gear ratio reel. Again, you're going to pick up that slack, be able to drive that hook right up into that fish's mouth. There's a lot of parts around the country that shad spawn is going to be starting, and the swim jig is an excellent bait to mimic those shad up shallow on rocks or in grass. Again, anywhere those shad are going to be congregated and spawning. To look for that, pay attention as you're driving down the lake or walking the bank. Look for the birds. The blue heron are a telltale sign of where those shads could be spawning, and really look for that activity. You're going to find it in those low light hours, so the early morning hours of the day or at night. Those are going to be the best times to capitalize on that shad spawn bite. But for a jig, we'll be releasing our swim jig here soon, but a lot of times we're just going to throw a 1/2 ounce white swim jig, a trailer on the back that's going to provide a lot of kick. We use a hammer crawl for the most part, but any type of crawl trailer, something that's going to provide you a lot of action, would be a really good bait to use. So let's get into how to fish that. So the action you want to employ on this bait is, as you make that cast out, you're going to utilize your rod mostly to bring that bait back to you. You're going to give it a lot of shakes and action. That's not only going to give your bait a lot of action, but you're using that to pull in the bait, and you're really just using your reel to reel in that slack. Another option that you have, if you're fishing out deeper or want that bait to get down deeper, cast your bait out there, let it sink down to the desired depth, and then you can reel real fast and let your bait pause and fall. Real fast, let your bait pause and fall, and kind of do that all the way back to the boat. But 90% of the time, the majority of what we're going to do is we're going to cast that bait out there, and we're just going to kind of shake it back to us. That way it stays up in the water column, and we're just utilizing our reel to reel in that slack. As always, we really appreciate you watching our video. If you would, please share this video to your story. It really helps us in reaching more of our followers and helps us grow this channel to get content out to more people. Please like this video. Drop us a comment on your favorite swim jig and a trailer to use, and we'll be sure and talk with you then. But we appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. We've got a huge giveaway we're going to be announcing here in just a few hours for our 40K giveaway. It's part number 2 of 4, but stay tuned for that. And as always, we'll see you next week for Motion Monday.